Will the current war lead to World War III? Again, as I have mentioned in previous lectures, that we should not enter the domain of predictions, because predictions many times are incorrect, even if it's an astute political opinion. Even if someone claims kashf, they cannot display their kashf. If some people have kashf, they should not display their kashf to the public, because the kashf, the spiritual unveiling, is not mahfuz, is not necessarily always, the person is not always protected in terms of relaying their kashf. So whether this chain of events that is occurring now as we speak will lead to a world war, whether China will invade Taiwan or not, whether Russia will expand its territories into other states or into the whole of Ukraine, whether the West will react with an armed resistance, or whether World War III and the entire world will be dragged into this war. This is something that will unfold in front of our eyes. If it does unfold, and if a World War III does occur, it's a malhama min al malahim, one malhama from many malahim, like World War II, like World War I. But it has ramifications and implications for Muslims. What ramifications and implications does this particular war have? Even if it does not become, if it does not mutate into World War III, the ramifications is a possibility of the end of Arab nation states. There is a possibility of a disintegration of borders within the Middle East. The disintegration of borders we witnessed with the rise of the terrorist group ISIS. When this group arose in 2014, we witnessed a disintegration of borders between Iraq and Syria, for instance. And this is an inevitable possibility within what is known as the Middle East or the Near East at all times. So we are possibly going to observe a disintegration of a unity of Middle Eastern states if a world war occurs at all. But secondly, the environmental disasters that are occurring, this will affect those environmental disasters, what is occurring in front of our very own eyes, which is the dissipation of the level of water within the Euphrates. So the Euphrates River today is diminishing. You go and check the statistics. Within the past year, the levels of water within the Euphrates have diminished due to dam constructions in Turkey, like the Ataturk Dam and other dams. And Turkey's water shortages do not help to make things convenient for countries like Iraq. So the water levels have diminished, and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam foretold this, and it is occurring today. And yahthira al-furatu jabalan min al-dhahab, that the Euphrates will uncover a mantle of gold. The yahthira means that the water will deplete. The levels of the water will deplete, and it is happening in front of our very own eyes. So in terms of ashratu sa'a, now that we are looking at this timeline, in terms of the timeline, the signposts are there. So how many signposts are we witnessing? We should make this very clear in our minds. We are witnessing so many signposts. In near history, we witnessed the sanctions on Iraq, which I mentioned in 1990. We witnessed the sanctions on Syria, which are foretold in the Hadith. We witnessed the fitna to Sham, the tribulation of Sham, which is foretold in the Hadith, in the Al-Fitan of Nu'aym bin Hammad. Sa'id bin Musayyib, the student of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he mentions fitna to Sham, which extends 12 to 18 years. We have witnessed that. These are signposts. But within those signposts, we have other signposts. We have witnessed the signpost of Antara al-Urat al-Hufata ri'a al-Sha'i yatatawaluna fil bunyan. You shall observe the barefoot, the naked goat herders competing with one another in constructing tall buildings. We have observed the Burj Khalifa constructed in the UAE. the Emirat, the United Arab Emirates. We have observed the construction of the clock tower in front of Al-Masjid al-Haram in Mecca al-Mukarramah. These are Bedouins competing for constructing tall buildings. This has occurred in front of our very own eyes. We have observed concerts, which in the hadith it mentions the singing girls. It mentions this. In the old times they interpreted the hadith as being slave girls, singing slave girls, but we observe the concerts in Riyadh, which is an exact occurrence of the sign of the end of times as foretold by the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what is unfolding now and will continue to unfold is the shurbul khamar, the drinking of alcohol openly, which is occurring in front of our very own eyes within the Middle East or the Muslim majority countries, especially the Arabian Peninsula. We have observed also the concerts that are occurring and the construction of the city of Niam. And the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam foretold that a time shall occur that people will go out of Al-Madinatul Munawwarah and the believers should only reach a point which is known as Silah. Silah is near Khaybar. Khaybar is a UNESCO heritage, World Heritage Site protected by UNESCO. Silah is near that point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best whether this refers to the construction of the Niam city, even though there are reports recently that the Niam city may just be an imaginative project of Muhammad bin Salman, which may not go out and may not be unfold into to fruition, meaning it will not come about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. So we are observing all these signs unfolding. This malhama is one of those malhamas min al-malahim. So the next signpost, next major signpost is the diminishing of the Euphrates River. Prior to that, if we have an economic collapse, if we have a major war, this will be nothing in comparison to another war which will occur when the Euphrates River uncovers a deposit of gold. Now some people say Jabal min Dhahab, a mountain of gold. If there was a mountain under the Euphrates, they would have detected the mountain. Firstly, who has gone out their way to detect anything? But who said the mountain of gold is necessarily a mountain like Everest? They read the word Jabal and they understand a huge mountain like Everest. A Jabal, the itlaq, the expression of the word Jabal can be even on small hills. In the Arabic language, even small hills are referred to as Jabal. But who said the hill or the mountain of gold is not within the grounds? Meaning within the grounds of the Euphrates, the bed of the Euphrates, there is a depository of gold that shall be discovered very soon. This will lead to a major war in which from every 1,000 people, 999 people will die. So that